Hey everybody, welcome to Tim's Vinyl Confessions. I'm Tim Durling, and joining me are Chez and Jex, and the three of us are here to tackle one of our favorite unsung bands. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning. Excited, yeah.
We're here to talk about some Vandenberg. I've never actually done a Vandenberg vinyl episode, and that's what we're talking about. This is a band that's had a couple of lives. Obviously, they're the first three albums in the 80s. Adrian joins Whitesnake, and time passes, and then in 2020 he revived the Vandenberg name and put out what I think are two really good albums. And the coolest thing about all of this is that Jex and I are going to be seeing the man himself in concert. It was originally going to be in October in Portland, Maine. Now it's going to be in March. But that's okay.
Awesome.
Because there's another concert in October that we're going to be going to. That's going to be another story for another time. So, yeah, we're here to talk about the Vandenberg vinyl. It's a relatively small collection, but I'm interested to see what we all have. And I guess we'll get started, guys, with the first album, 1982. And, we were just chatting off, before we start. I don't think there aren't many 80s debuts better than this.
Agreed. So overlooked.
Yeah. Now mine's a US copy
on
Atco. And obviously Jex has the Canadian one for the Maple Leaf, and Chez has one with a sticker on it. I'm curious about this.
Yeah, this is the Music on Vinyl reissue.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
I think there's only 1,000. This is number 920. I think it's out of print now. I got this fairly at a reasonable price. I had to kind of ship it overseas. It does come on a colored blue. Sounds fantastic.
Ooh, nice.
And I used to have an original, but it skipped. And so I kind of got rid of it. But when I saw this was reissued, I had to grab it. I think it's out of print now, but if you can get your hands on it, it sounds really, really good. And I love that album. Like Tim said, fantastic debut.
It's like nine great songs for 9 great songs. And I've always liked that, as Jex is holding up there, that sort of repeating Atco label.
Oh yeah.
Which they used. They used that for, I'm not sure what period. I think they stopped using it like sometime in the mid 80s. And so yeah, this was the most popular Vandenberg album because it had Burning Heart on it, which was a top 40 single. And I just think that every song on this album is incredible. Adrian's, he wrote all the songs. His guitar playing is just perfect for these types of songs. He's flashy without going over the top. It always serves the song. I think Bert Heering was a great singer.
Oh, yeah.
Never gets any credit. Although there is one thing about this back cover,
I think I know where you're going.
Really, Jaws Zoomer, as a drummer, holy cow, that guy's amazing. Great double bass work. But why did not somebody tell him, don't tuck your pants into your boots? Nobody does that.
I thought you were going to talk about the leopard print, Adrian's little
leopard print on leopard print with the bow tie. Bow tie. Yeah.
Must have been the 80s.
Well, it must have been the early 80s, and the early 80s in not a country that gives a lot of this golden earring, and it's like you're not in LA where the coordinators are like, hey, why don't you try wearing something like this, something like that? But it doesn't matter. The music's amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the first album. Mine actually originally came in I think I may have the original sleeve because it came in this the Atlantic group, and other than that, the vinyl looks the same as.
I don't think there was an yeah, because even on the Music on Vinyl, there's no inner, just the information on the back. So
Music on Vinyl, I've got Music on Vinyl reissues. I've got Music on CD reissues, same company. They always do a great job, and they do a good job at resurrecting these albums that have fallen out of print.
Yeah, definitely.
So next up, 1983. Now, oddly enough, it took me a long time to find their albums on vinyl. Their albums aren't easy to find anyway, but I've seen more copies of this than anything else for some reason. Heading for a Storm, 1983. Great artwork designed by Adrian himself as an artist, not just a great guitar player and writer. Love the logo, by the way. Great logo.
Yeah. I love the sharks here, the flying sharks.
Yeah.
Love
Makes
that.
no sense, but you know.
But
And
awesome.
yeah, I think Jex is like mine, is a Canadian.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mine too. Yeah, I got the Canadian.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what's happening here, but
I'm inclined to think it's like the either record sleeves or that box from Superman 1.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh. That's scared to step outside, General. Yeah. And there's a little bit of personalization going on with the label as far as how the band name is written on the bottom.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's the same Atco label. And something I found at one of the last record expos, I can't remember if it was this year or the last year, but it was a really pleasant surprise. It's a single from Heading for a Storm, Different Worlds.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really?
This is a German copy. And what's really cool about it is that let's see so there's what the single looks like. But the B-side is a live version of Too Late from the debut.
Nice.
And it doesn't say where it was recorded. Oh, yes, it does. Recorded live in Houston, Texas, March 3rd, 1983. So that tells me that there's a live album that they could put out live in Houston, Vandenberg. I've got the Live in Tokyo DVD that came out, I think, in 2004. That's really good. That's from the Heading for a Storm tour, but sounds like there's a tour recordings that could come out from the debut album tour. If I'm going to make a guess, in Houston, I'm going to guess they were opening for Ozzy, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Somebody could look that up.
I would love.
Somebody in the comments will look that up. And now, 1985, great album. This was the one that took me the longest to find, actually. Alibi. I love this album cover. Like, this is fantastic. This is another Adrian Vandenberg album cover. I mean, the detail on this, it almost looks like a picture.
Yeah.
Again, detailed. I have no idea what it's supposed to mean, but I like it. And I like the colors, the reds, the yellows, like that cover. This is a Canadian copy too. By now they weren't doing the Maple Leaf thing anymore. They seemed to stop that in 84. And it would appear that Chez has some sort of is that Nobi strip?
Japanese?
Yeah, it's Japanese pressing. I only got like 3 Japanese pressings, and this is one of them. And it sounds fantastic. I'm just going to show you what came with it because it's got quite a bit of extras. Of course, on the back of the Obi, it's advertising the other 2 Vandenbergs, advertising the second Rat album, the Malice album.
Other albums on Atlantic.
Yeah, for sure. And inside you do get the lyrics in English, and on this side, I assume it's like credits, but they're in Japanese.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty typical. I've got a lot of CDs like that. And there's the photo from the back of Heading for a Storm.
Oh, yeah, you put that up again. Yep. And you also get another separate lyric sheet in Japanese with all the songs there. And some more advertising. Now, this is cool. Advertising, like you said, Tim, the Atlantic ones. So you get the other Vandenbergs, you get the Night Ranger, 7 Wishes, Motley Crue Theater, Pain, AC/DC, Fly in the Wall, Twisted Sister.
Oh, so it's all just different labels now.
Yeah, so really cool.
Night Ranger, that's interesting because they were on MCA, but maybe not in Japan.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Motley Crue Motley
Well, no,
Crue.
Motley Crue and Elektra. It's the same parent label, WEA,
Oh,
but
well,
the
yeah.
Night Ranger is throwing me. Although
Now,
I do know that in some territories, MCA was distributed by Warner, so maybe that was the case. I don't know.
now what's
That's
cool about this, it's actually an order card, because down here would be where you put in your information, and then back here would be like which one of these you want to order, presumably. So this would be like a mail order thing in there. So I thought that was really cool. And a last piece it comes with this. I'm going to try and unfold it. Pretty big poster.
Whoa.
This is cool. I've never seen this. Okay, so that's the back
Wow.
cover photo.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure if that shows good. But yeah, so I just, and again, I found that I was just by luck on Discogs, and it wasn't like crazy expensive. It was really, really reasonable. So I jumped all over it. And again, don't have many Japanese pressings, only 3 of them, but really happy to have found that one.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. I've never seen that before.
The poster
This is
alone
what
was
the
really-
record itself looks like. So by now, Atco, it's different, slightly different label.
So here's a label on this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
same one.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I've got something that's in the same ballpark as what Chez just showed us. I haven't had this for too long. I was actually waiting on this for us to film this episode. This is Once in a Lifetime, a 12-inch single from the Alibi album. So it's got, but what I like about this is that it's got the full art without any text on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of neat for that. Basically same thing on both sides. And what this has on it for B-sides are both from that Tokyo concert that ended up on DVD, which it'd be cool if they put that out on just audio. So it's got Heading for a Storm and Friday Night. And this is actually from, there's not really any information on the sleeve, but this is from, it's definitely European. Small print. Well, it looks like it's German or European anyway, and it's got the same label on it. So I just thought that was kind of neat. And the next thing that I have, I actually found this one in the debut at the same time in Portland, but it wasn't. Anyway, it was in Portland.
Portland, how
Great.
ironic. How ironic.
Yeah, great used record stores. Yeah, so I found the debut and I found this. Best of Vandenberg. Now, that's obviously a Whitesnake era photo of Adrian. And why would this come out in 1988? Well, Whitesnake were huge. So, wisely Atlantic decided, well, let's compile this band and see if we can sell some of these. And so, yeah, he's got his famous guitar with the reverse headstock. And the logo. And then on the back, what this is interesting about this. So on the back, this photo of the band live, but it's got all of the inner, like the credits that are on the inside of the CD and cassette. They're all here. This was written by Derek Oliver from Kerrang, one of the English rock magazines. And this is a US copy. I don't think this came out in Canada. I had to search a long time even to find this on cassette. And the inner sleeve came in this. This is an Atlantic label, and then it's got the same Atco label on it. And I think that most of us thought, well, that's nice, that's great little compact catalog. But then in 2020, it was like a nice surprise. Things were going wrong in 2020, but hey, there's going to be a new Vandenberg album, and I jumped on it. I couldn't order it fast enough. And correct me if I'm wrong, Chez. I think you and I have reviewed both of the latter day Vandenberg albums.
We did the most recent one. This one we didn't review, the 2020.
I think I might have done this one myself. I don't know, but here it is, Vandenberg 2020.
Oh, nice.
It's great to see a new version of that logo again. Completely different lineup except for Adrian. This is the one that Ronnie Romero sings on. He's been in a million different bands, did a good job on this, left the band, you know, this is a good album. It doesn't sound anything really like the old Vandenberg. It's more of how would you? Was it sort of like a cross between like Whitesnake and Dio? Chaz, do you think that one might be a good way of putting it?
Yeah, for sure. Fantastic melodies, memorable songs, but great. Yeah, it's a great mix right there. I agree with that. Yeah.
The only thing is that I don't think it was necessary for them to redo Burning Heart. That's such a classic song. That's such a classic song. You're not going to top it. Like, it's not going to get any better. But anyway, a good solid hard rock album, and you know, it was nice to know they were back. And just so everybody knew they were serious about this, in 2023, this album came out, Sin, which Chez and I reviewed. He's decided to revive the Sharks. This is such a classic looking album cover.
I love that. I love that he brought back the Sharks.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense. Doesn't matter. And now on vocals we have Mats Levin. He sang with Yngwie Malmsteen. He sang with a bunch of people. He's a great vocalist. He sounds a lot like he's got a lot of Coverdale in him, and like just perfect for this type of material. Like, even before Adrian was in Whitesnake, he was writing material that would have worked for Whitesnake, which is pretty cool. This is a great album again, and no remakes, just 9 great original songs. And I think I'm not 100% sure. I think this is the lineup that we're going to be seeing, Jex.
Yeah, I think so. I was listening to that yesterday. It's a great album. It's
yeah, that's going to be amazing for you guys.
I like this a little bit better than the 2020, and I like the 2020 just fine. I just think that, you know, they're starting to gel a little bit more.
Yeah.
So,
amazing riff song. Yeah.
So, like I said, it's a pretty small catalog, but I just love talking about this band and introducing people to them. If you're a fan of 80s Whitesnake, I can't see how you wouldn't like the Vandenberg stuff. A good friend of ours doesn't seem to get it. We're hoping that he comes around. I think it'll happen. I think it's too good to, sooner or later. But anyway, so there you go. Yeah, there'll definitely be an episode when we go see Vandenberg live. Now, the trick is that, I mean, Adrian's he's kind of billing it under his own name in some territories. I'm not sure why. It's the Vandenberg band, but they're really concentrating on Whitesnake, which that makes sense. And as you know, I'd like to hear a little bit of the Vandenberg catalog, but hey, this is going to be great. I've never seen Adrian in concert before. I've seen Whitesnake. I've seen I've seen Vivian Campbell with Def Leppard. I've seen Reb Beach and Whitesnake and Dawkins, but not Winger. So bits and pieces here. You get to see some of these guys, but I've always been such a fan of Adrian's guitar playing. I don't know, guys, if you guys get anything more to add, like, you know.
No, just if to those who aren't familiar with Vandenberg, check them out. Like, it's never too late. I've only gotten into them in the past couple of years through Tim. We did a best of, I guess it would have been 1982, and he brought up the debut, and I'm like, I got to check this out. And then I did, and I was like, wow, okay. And then
you found it, right?
Right at the record expo. I found all of these from the same seller at the record expo. So it just worked out, and now I'm a fan and gonna be seeing him live. It's definitely recommended if you're not familiar. Great rock.
Yeah.
Just
melodic rock solos. He's such a good songwriter. And then I think what people will start to kind of connect is that how many of the songs on those Whitesnake albums he wrote with Coverdale, like on the Slip of the Tongue, and then on the rest. And now this new box set coming out with the solo albums that they're doing under Whitesnake. He wrote, I think on Into, if I'm not mistaken, I have to check on that he wrote some songs on that first one, which is a great underrated album, and looking forward to grabbing that. So fantastic songwriter. He knows how to do those riffs, melodic solos, and melodic choruses. He's fantastic. Anybody, if you like anything from that area, you're gonna love this band. So highly check it out.
Yeah, the older stuff or the newer stuff. He's just I think that's how his brain is wired to write songs. He just doesn't know any other way, and we're all the better for it. So there you go, folks. Any Vandenberg fans out there, you know, if you got any like cool singles from around the world, you know, show us what you got. And I want to thank Chez and Jex for for sitting in with me and doing this episode. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, link to purchase my books is below. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and we will have these guys back on for another episode in some incarnation or another. I want to say thanks to everybody for watching this episode of Tim's Vinyl Confessions. Go check out some Vandenberg.